Okay, next we have a tweet from Karpathy. It's kind of interesting, not too crazy. Essentially, he's saying like he has a new Mac Mini to tinker with claws over this past weekend, so we'll see if he has an update today. But it's interesting because he was really hyping up OpenClaw, ClawBot, that they've renamed, but now they're not called OpenClaw. They got acquired by OpenAI. But he says in this tweet that he's a bit sus to give OpenClaw specifically his private data / keys, 400K lines of vibe coded monster that is actively being attacked at scale is not very appealing to him, which makes sense, but it's also like people were really gassing it up. And I do like this idea of like not just trusting vibe coded software like out the gate, especially if it has tons of lines of code. So essentially what he said though is that he likes NanoClaw, which is another launch that should be like faster. I think it can run on much cheaper hardware as well. And he said it's only 4,000 lines. So the code fits into his head and that of AI agents. So it feels more manageable, auditable, flexible, etc. And I think that's interesting. In like December when Cloud Code was really taking off, everyone was like, oh, let's just ship as much as possible, and like we're just going to use this code. We're going to ship it. Pete from OpenClaw, he basically built like 26 packages to support OpenClaw, all the different functionality, and he did a really good job, and it's really cool. But we are definitely starting to see like kind of the pushback now of like, okay, let's step back, let's make sure the software we're using actually works, let's make sure we're not leaking private keys and stuff, which OpenClaw has never leaked private keys as far as I understand. I know there's vulnerabilities that people have exploited, unlike Moltbook, where that was just like a one-off software that basically just got hacked and exposed all the API keys. So I know people aren't using that anymore, but that wasn't OpenClaw doing that. But I definitely like this idea of like, let's kind of go back to like using software that we know is reliable, it has tests, it doesn't have too many open vulnerabilities. Maybe people are 0-daying it, I wouldn't be surprised. That's kind of how it is with new software as well. But it's good that Karpathy's kind of driving forward this idea of like, let's understand the code we're running as opposed to just this vibe coded slop fest that we were working with before, but it seemed like everyone was on board with. So very interesting.